Hey guys, what is up? It's me, Vole, and welcome back to another video on accurate and powerful LEGO guns, where this time we'll be showing you this pistol. So I'm sat here in a nice sunny evening with this LEGO gun, and I can notice something very different with it. The entire gun is made out of LEGO Technic rods, LEGO Technic axles, LEGO Technic beams. There is not a single LEGO brick in sight. And I decided to set myself a challenge to make a gun with no LEGO bricks. Obviously it's still LEGO, but we weren't going to use bricks to help structure it. It was going to be completely comprised of these kind of LEGO parts. And I've had this gun for a good while, and I can say that there are a lot of advantages to this. However, there are a lot of disadvantages to this. But before we get onto any of that, I'd like to just give you an overview of this gun. So, this is a simple single-shot open bolt action gun that takes in a LEGO rod. The LEGO rod looks like this. Of course, this can be any LEGO rod that fits into the barrel of the gun. To load it, all we have to do is pull the bolt back, insert your projectile, pull down the trigger, and secure the round into the gun. Then, when you are ready, you can fire. Pretty sweet. But that's nothing unless it has at least decent range. So, without further ado, it is time to go on to the range test. So here we are with the range test. What we're going to do is we're going to shoot this gun a couple of times, and then after that, we're going to see how far this gun is able to shoot. So here we are with the first test. Test number 1. Test number 2. Test number 3. So that was the range test. We are now going to analyse those 3 bullets to find out our shooting range. The average range was created from 3 different sets of results. The furthest travelling was our first test. That went around 4 meters free, and this was our third and final test. I reckon around 4 meter 1, and our first test that we did, I reckon around 3 meters 9. Now, the range of this gun isn't too good. Despite that, I can applaud the gun on its consistency. The good thing about that is every time you shoot it, you can expect this gun to perform in uniformity. Doo-ba-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. The range of the gun wasn't too great. However, will the accuracy make up for it? It will be time to find that out shortly with the accuracy test. But before we do that, let's go into some details about this LEGO gun. This is a single-shot LEGO Technic brick shooter. It is made 100% out of LEGO Technic rods, beams and axles. This gun is an open bolt survival style pistol, and it fires LEGO Technic rods. This is the bolt to the LEGO gun. It is a very simple bolt with a 15 stud long LEGO Technic beam attached to a pair of 5 long LEGO Technic beams. This is the back of the gun. The bolt fits through that hole, and when the trigger is pulled, the bolt will push forward, firing the projectile. And then when you want to insert the bolt into the gun, all you have to do is insert it into the little opening, pull the trigger, and push it forward, like so. Then, of course, you would need to reconfigure the rubber band, like so, ensuring that the bolt functions with reliability. This gun only requires 2 rubber bands. This rubber band works on the bolt and is wrapped around these 2 parts of the gun. Then the trigger has another singular rubber band. The pistol grip of this gun is completely hollow. Therefore, you can use it for many different uses. You can attach your own special grips to the gun. You could use it to attach your ammunition. Or you could even put your hands inside the grip and use it as a club, like so. Now, the use of this extra feature is of course optional. However, using this extra feature is easy. So say you wanted to use this hollow pistol grip to attach a bag of ammunition. That's simple to do. All you need to do is pull out that red Technic axle, like so. Then you want to grab your ammunitions bag, position it into your gun, and then once you've done that, what you can start to do is push the LEGO Technic axle back into position. Now, of course, this is going off the survival theme. The whole idea is you could have your ammunition handy just in case you really needed to. Optimally, kind of put it in the grip so that it's not so obvious. However, it is a really nifty bag. All you need to do is open it up, grab a piece of ammunition, load it into the gun, aim, and fire, like so. Then, of course, if you want to remove it, all you have to do is push out the LEGO Technic axle, remove the ammunitions bag, and then close up that little axle part. Returning to the grip, if you're wondering why these parts protrude, it is part of the ergonomics of the gun and the safety. Now, when I originally made this back in December, your hands could be put up there at the top of the grip, and then obviously when you fired the gun, your hands could get pinched by the bolt, which is not ideal. However, down here, this prevents your hand from pushing too far up, therefore the bolt will not hit your hand. These are the iron sights to this LEGO gun. They are fairly simple and they are easy to use. This gun is a very nifty little thing. However, does it fare well in the accuracy test? Well, it's time to find out. It is now time to see how well this gun fares against those 3 targets. Here we are with test number 1. Pass. Test number 2. Pass. And test number 3. Pass. All 3 pass. After doing the accuracy test, it is easy to conclude that the gun works really well. Wherever you aim with this gun, you tend to hit. And that's a brilliant quality to have within a LEGO gun. Heck, even real steel ones need that quality within them. But now I think it's time to talk about my personal opinion before we wrap up this accurate and powerful LEGO gun video. Now, the first advantage to it, especially with it being made out of 100% Technic, is its strong infrastructure. The gun is very hard to break. Now, it is still breakable because it's all made out of Lego, but because of the LEGO Technic beams and the way you have to build with them and the way it incorporates using like beams and everything, it is harder to rip apart. Most of the time you have to want to break it to break it. And one of the good things about it is you can apply a good decent amount of power onto the gun and allow it to still run for quite a few shots. Now, it's not invincible because yes, it is made out of Lego, but it's a really nice infrastructure, and I think I'd like to see that kind of strength in my other Lego guns. Another good thing is the gun's easy to use, so all I need to do to cock it is cock it like that. I could leave it cocked whilst loading my projectile. Putting my projectile in the barrel is easy. The barrel works really well, and the round goes smoothly through the barrel. And then all I have to do now is fire. Now, it's not the smallest trigger pull, however it is quite an easy trigger pull, and that is a nice feature to have because that means you can just fire with ease. It makes it easier to use rather than just making a really strenuous pull and making it really uncomfortable. So I like that feature. Another good feature about this gun is the iron sights. The iron sights work really well, and of course they're easy enough to use. It's got that orange reticle at the front to make it stand out. Another good thing about it is the fact that it takes 2 rubber bands. Therefore, if one of them does break, you just put another one on and you can focus all of your other rubber bands on something else, like maybe your rubber band guns need a lot more rubber bands. This only needs 2. Therefore, you can just go, I'm going to use this one, kind of weak one for our trigger. We're going to use a really nice one for our bolt. Now, unintentionally, this kind of pushes the trigger part up. Therefore, you could kind of make this stronger, more stronger. However, you do need to be careful that the stronger this is, you might need to make this stronger, this rubber band here stronger. Generally not as much because the way it goes up and the way it slots into the barrel, but that still might need to be put into consideration. Another good thing is you can attach obviously ammo bags like I've demonstrated earlier, and of course I've demonstrated its accuracy and then it's kind of limited power. With that goes on the disadvantages. Besides the range not being that good, and despite all the good consistency, there are a few bad things. First of all, there's a kind of double-edged sword when it comes to a Lego gun being made out of 100% Technic. The one big problem is you kind of have to really work around the constraint, because it is a massive constraint, because LEGO Technic beams are of a certain shape and work in a certain way, unlike LEGO bricks, in which you could get 2 stud, 4 stud, and you just slot them in and piece them all together. This has to have a lot more force, especially when you're building with LEGO Technic, and therefore what you tend to do is you have to be really careful in where you place your bricks. One mistake could prevent the whole gun from firing, so you have to be really careful. And especially when it comes to the shape, I had to put these little parts here to make sure the gun's infrastructure was good and make sure that it was well made, and it kind of makes the gun look kind of unneat. Another bad thing, keeping on the neatest thing, is the whole fact that the trigger is kept on the outside, in even the rubber bands in themselves. And well, so it doesn't really do too much. Now, it kind of helps with the trigger discipline, actually, but it doesn't really look that nice when it's all on the outside. Technically, it should all really be stored in the inside. The whole mechanism should be stored in the inside. Another disadvantage to this gun is kind of how the bolt's a bit wavy and you can move it in like that. And it is kind of weird, but that isn't too bad. It doesn't really affect too much of the performance, just something in my finicky mind. And of course, we have an issue, not with the sights, but the attachability. Because of the way it's built, you can't really can't seem to attach items with ease. And if you do want to attach items, you've got to sort out and really reverse engineer this gun if I wanted to start putting attachments on, so that I could start putting on a rail and put on maybe a red dot sight. Generally with this gun, I think it will be easier just to keep it with your iron sighting. And the final disadvantage of the day, if you will, is kind of how sometimes it's very occasional, but it is a nasty pain in the arse when sometimes you load it up and say the round gets stuck in the barrel and you're kind of trying to cock it and load the round in and it just doesn't seem to move. That is quite frustrating, but that doesn't happen all the time. That happens ever so slightly, so if it does happen, just untighten the gun a little bit and then the round should go through fluently. Now, whilst that doesn't affect the entirety of everything, it just shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen at all. And I'm kind of disappointed with that feature. All in all, I think this gun is a brilliant addition to your LEGO collection. And I would recommend building it. So, thank you for watching this video. And if you like the video, give it a like. And if you want to see more, click subscribe. And of course, next time, we'll be showing you our little pocket pistol. And here is the little pistol in question. What this is it's a semi-automatic pocket pistol that fires rubber bands. It is my first attempt at making a LEGO gun that uses more like Daniel's mechanism. Also my first attempt at integrating a working safety switch.